Every single day across the United States, people are stopped by the police. It might be during a traffic stop, a casual encounter on the street, or a more serious situation that leads to questioning. In these moments, most people believe the best way to handle the situation is to talk, to explain themselves, or to cooperate by answering questions quickly. But in reality, the most powerful protection you have is not found in words you speak. It is found in the words you choose not to say. It is the right to remain silent. The right to remain silent comes from the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution. This amendment says that no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against themselves. What that means is simple. You cannot be forced to speak in a way that could harm you in court. This is not just a legal technicality. It is one of the strongest shields you have as an individual. Think about words as pieces of evidence. Once you speak them, they can never be taken back. They can be recorded, written down, and repeated to a jury. And even if you are completely innocent, words can be misunderstood, twisted, or taken out of context in ways that make you look guilty. Talking often helps the police and the prosecution. Remaining silent helps you. Consider this example. You are pulled over for speeding. The officer asks, "Do you know how fast you were going?" Many people, wanting to be polite, will answer honestly. You might say, "I think I was going about 70. What you just did in that moment is admit to speeding. The officer no longer needs to prove your speed. You have provided evidence against yourself. Another example. An officer asks if you've been drinking. You answer, "Just one beer." Even if that's true, you've now given the officer legal justification to begin sobriety tests. That single sentence can escalate a situation from a routine stop into a potential arrest. This is why lawyers often say, silence cannot be used against you, but your words always can. Many people are familiar with the Miranda Warning from television. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. Those words are not fiction. They are required by law when you are in custody and being interrogated. But here is something important. Your right to remain silent exists even before those words are read to you. The Constitution gives you that right the moment police begin asking you questions in a way that could lead to criminal charges. Police officers are trained to make people talk. They might act casual and friendly, creating the illusion that answering their questions is harmless. Or they might apply pressure, making you feel that silence equals guilt. Both approaches are designed to get you speaking. Once you do, every word can and will be used later. Psychologically, people want to defend themselves. If someone accuses you of something, your natural reaction is to deny it or explain why it isn't true. But even denials can create contradictions. If you guess about times, distances, or details and you are even slightly wrong, prosecutors can use those mistakes to argue you are lying. Stress and nervousness make this even more likely. Innocent people, under pressure, often say things that sound suspicious when repeated in court. Let's explore a few common situations. Imagine a traffic stop. The officer asks, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" Many drivers feel they must answer, but the safest response is to remain silent about the reason. Provide the documents you are legally required to show, such as your license, registration, and proof of insurance. Beyond that, you have no obligation to answer questions that might incriminate you. Now imagine police knocking on your door without a warrant. They may start asking questions. Some people, trying to be cooperative, will let them inside or begin explaining themselves. But your rights allow you to stay silent and refuse entry unless they have proper legal authority. Talking in that moment can create risks that silence would have avoided. Finally, imagine being questioned in a police station. You may believe that speaking will clear up misunderstandings quickly, but history shows otherwise. Many wrongful convictions in the United States have been based on false confessions made under pressure. Innocent people, desperate to go home or convinced that cooperating will help them, end up saying things that are later used to convict them. Silence plus legal counsel is always safer, so how do you properly use your right to remain silent? The best way is to clearly state your intention. Simply being quiet is not always enough, because police may continue questioning you. Instead, you should say, "I am exercising my right to remain silent. I want to speak to a lawyer." Once you say those words, you have made it clear that you understand your rights and you want to use them. At that point, questioning should stop. There are some common mistakes people make in these situations. Some try to explain themselves, believing that honesty will protect them. Others lie, thinking a small untruth will get them out of trouble. Both are dangerous. Explanations provide evidence. Lies can create separate criminal charges. Another mistake is showing anger or aggression. Remaining calm and respectful makes it harder for officers to justify harsher treatment, and never give consent for searches without a warrant. If officers have the legal right to search, they will do it anyway. If they don't, your consent is the only thing giving them permission. One of the biggest myths is that only guilty people remain silent. That is not true. Innocent people also need this protection. You may know you did nothing wrong, but misunderstandings happen. Your memory might not be perfect. Details can be misheard, miswritten, or misrepresented. The right to remain silent exists to protect everyone, whether innocent or guilty. Your words are powerful. They can open doors or close them. They can build trust, but they can also destroy your defense. The Constitution gives you a simple but extraordinary tool: the ability to say nothing. Use it wisely. When you find yourself face to face with the police, remember this simple phrase: I am exercising my right to remain silent. I want to speak to a lawyer. That single statement can protect your freedom, your future, and your peace of mind. Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength. Silence is protection. And silence is your right. If you want to learn more about your legal rights, subscribe to this channel. Share this knowledge with your family and friends, because understanding your rights today may protect you tomorrow.